Almost every candidate has a plan to spend billions or in some case trillions of dollars on some form of Green New Deal. But this newfound climate activism comes with another odd trend, a taste for private jet travel. It's never been like this in any presidential race. In the past 3 months, the Democratic field has spent $2.2 million flying private. In Joe Biden's case, flying private amounts to more than 5% of all campaign spending. It's almost like he's running for president, so he won't have to fly commercial. Daniel Turrner is the executive director of Power of the Future. He knows a lot about this subject, and he joins us tonight. Mr. Turrner, thanks very much for coming on. So you hear people, not enough, but occasionally people like me say it's an outrage that you, on the one hand, demand sacrifice from the population in the name of climate, and on the other, fly private. Put some flesh on those bones. Why is it ridiculous for a climate change activist to fly private?
Yeah, every one of these candidates who is running for office has embraced the Green New Deal. And a tenet of the Green New Deal is the abolition of fossil fuels. They have said that they want to render jet travel obsolete. So they want to bring us to a place with the economy where oil and gas are no longer allowed to be used as resources. And you would think then they would reflect that in their personal life, right? You would think they would start to, at least in their campaign, put your money where your mouth is. This is a very simple expression, right? And the fact that they are doing this, it's just so, it shows what a bunch of lies.
But they are harming, by their own logic, if you believe that carbon is a pollutant, and they all do, they're really harming the Earth.
Yeah, according to their theory, right? According to their logic, they are doing a tremendous amount of damage just because they don't want to drive from Des Moines to
Sioux City. So how much damage? Give us some perspective.
Well, there's the statistics that the average flight from private jet from London to New York is what the average American would spend in carbon for an entire year. Right?
One flight,
one private jet. So that's why when you have these global climate summits, because they're always in exotic and fun resorts, and all these people take private jets, that's why it's so funny that they can't ever carpool together, a jet pool, because they are spending so much carbon, which is their enemy, right? So their philosophy says one thing, but then their life, the way they're living...
I don't understand. So if you really believed a third of what you said...
Exactly.
Then you wouldn't charter a plane to fly from Nantucket to Martha's Vineyard, as I think Hillary once did, or you wouldn't bomb around the country on one of these little planes, would you?
No, and Joe Biden spent almost $1 million, right? Pete Buttigieg spent almost $500,000. Now, here's a fun fact. Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders both say they want to make fracking illegal on their first day in office, right? By executive order, they want to make fracking illegal. Half of our oil comes from fracking. If we got rid of half of our oil, and there are millions of men and women who work in this field, besides their jobs being eliminated, what would that do to air travel, the cost of all goods and services, the cost of food, etc.? So they embrace a political perspective that would destroy the economy and raising prices. But then on the other hand, they will jump on a private jet.
Of course, because that's what they're like. And by the way, I don't even do that. I'm not a climate activist at all. I'm the opposite. I fly coach. I did today because I feel guilty because it's wasteful.
They'll never take coach.
No, ever. No. Because because the core goal in all of this is to lord it over you, is to control you.
And there are men and women in small towns who work in oil and gas and coal and these noble professions who are constantly denigrated by these candidates. They're the ones whose jobs are on the line, and yet they do not practice what they preach. They're not worthy of our vote.
That's for sure. Daniel Turrner, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Succinct and powerful. Be sure to check out Daniel Turner's great new piece going up on FoxNews.com's opinion section later tonight.